Hey everybody, I'm Bella from Fulfilled, and today I'm going to be taking you on an adventure through my neighborhood. We're going to be harvesting fig leaves and grilling some fish. This is a fig leaf. You can see it's a beautiful deep green color, and it has 5 individual lobes that make up its leaf. We are here at one of the many fig trees in our neighborhood. This fig tree in particular is probably well over 100 years old. This is a fig leaf up close. You can see it's a beautiful deep green color, and there's 5 separate lobes that make up its leaf formation. Today we're going to be using the leaves in our recipe rather than the fig fruit. So this particular leaf is actually the perfect size for what we need, so we're going to harvest it. So just for scale, I'm going to show you guys, you want to pick out a leaf that is larger than your hand, because we're going to be wrapping it around a fish and we want to make sure we get full coverage. So I've picked about 6 leaves. You're going to want to pick 3 to 6 leaves for each fish that you're making, just depending on the size of the leaf and the size of the fish. This particular tree is totally done fruiting. There's nothing left, so I'm going to take you guys for a ride through my hood and we'll go find some more fig trees. Okay, do you guys see it? There it is, another fig tree. Let's go check it out. So this is one of the main fig trees that we pick our fruit from. As you can see, there's still a whole lot of fruit on this tree. It'll provide for us for quite some time. Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys real quick what a perfectly ripe green fig looks like. In Greece we call them white figs, but you can see they turn kind of pale yellow-green. And there's the inside of the fig. You can see it's a rosy, beautiful pink color, and it tastes like nectar. They are the best. Alright, so one more quick fig tip before we get going. This is perfectly ripe. You can see it yields just enough when I press it. And here's a quick example of an overripe fig. You can see it's just super squishy. It's going to be rotten on the inside, so don't waste your time picking it. So now that you guys know what fig trees look like and how to identify them, we're just going to roll through my neighborhood and I'll point them out every time I find one. Okay, do you guys see them? 1 fig, 2 fig, side by side. All right, here's another one. Can you guys see it? Right there, fig tree. All right, so far all of the fig trees I've shown you guys are either in someone's backyard or front yard, and this one is right here off of the main road. I'm pretty sure you guys can tell the leaves don't look healthy. Yes, there's fruit, but it just doesn't look very good. These trees aren't good for foraging from. So as I mentioned before, the majority of the figs that were fit for foraging were either in someone's front yard or backyard. And this is not my backyard. So the basic etiquette of urban foraging is to always ask the homeowner where you find the fig. What's the worst they could say? No. What I found in my experience is everyone pretty much says yes, because as you can see, if you don't harvest the fruit, they fall on the ground and rot. So those are just some basic tips that have worked really well for us. Everyone we've asked has been really warm and welcoming and super grateful that we want to eat the fruit. We live in Roseville, California. It's in Northern California, and it is the perfect region for fig growing. But if you live in an area of the world where, say, maybe fig trees don't grow well or they don't produce fruit, this is the perfect recipe today because we use the leaves. So now we're back in the kitchen. We're going to wash up these fig leaves and trim off the stems and get them ready for wrapping our fish. Alright, so now we're at my local Whole Foods here in Roseville, California, where we're going to get our fish. This is the fish we're going to use for today's recipe. It's called branzini in Italian. In Greek, it's called lavraki. It's a European sea bass. The branzini we're getting is responsibly farmed. It's verified by third parties, so it is the highest standards. This is what Whole Foods standards are for their farmed fish. So once you get your fish from the fish department, you want to ask them to give you some ice so that the fish can stay super cold, because that's exactly how it needs to be stored. Okay, we're back in the kitchen and I've got our fish here. ready to go. If you're not going to eat it right away, you need to store it on ice in the refrigerator. So I went ahead and had the person behind the fish counter clean the fish for us, but I'm going to show you guys how to check their work and clean it yourself. The reason you have to check their work is because they don't ever clean it 100% perfectly, but they do a lot of the work for you. So to remove the scales from the skin, you're going to use the back side of a small knife. I'm just using like a little paring knife here, and you're going to run it. See that? It's catching on scale. So you can see how the knife catches on scales, and they just lift off as you go from the tail to the head. So you want to go over the whole fish, make sure you get all of the scales off because you really don't want to eat them. They don't feel good in your mouth. So the way you check to make sure that you've gotten rid of all the scales is by running your finger from the tail to the head and feel to see if you got rid of all of them. The next step, if we hadn't had the fish gutted at the market, would be to take a knife and slit from here up to the head. You would then clean out everything from the inside of the fish until you just had this perfectly smooth flesh. As you can see, there's a little bit of crud left in here. That's why we check. So I'm going to take the fish over to the sink and rinse it with some cold water and get it perfectly clean until the water runs clear and get it ready for the grill. Now our fish is perfectly clean. There's no scales on the skin, and I've made sure to clean the inside until it was sparkling. That's how you want it to look. So now it's time to season the fish and wrap it up with fig leaves and cooking twine. So we're going to cut 3 lengths of cooking twine about 12 inches in length. So you're going to lay out your cooking twine in 3 horizontal sections and then lay your fig leaves on top of that. So I've laid the fish on top of the fig leaves so that I can test and make sure that we'll have full coverage once we get wrapping. So branzini, or how we call it in Greek, lavraki, is a really incredibly flavored fish. So all we're going to do is salt it. We're going to salt the outside and the inside generously. Now it's time to get wrapping. So we're going to fold the leaves up on each side, one section at a time, and secure it with the string as we go. So to show you guys what I did, I came up and around, crisscrossed the string, went around the other side, and tied it in a knot. So the fish is ready to go on the grill. I've just sliced a lemon in half and we'll grill that along with the fish. So we've got the fish on the grill now. We're going to cook it for 5 minutes on each side and grill the lemon along with it. So I just flipped the fish, and as you can see, we don't want to have the flames up too high or else it'll scorch the fig leaves and give the fish a real burnt taste. I pulled off the lemons after the first 5 minutes because they are grilled to perfection. Now the fish is all done grilling, so we're going to take it inside and open it up and see what it looks like. Tender, flaky, cooked to perfection, and infused with the aroma and the fragrance of the fig leaves. For the full recipe, you can visit our website at fulfilled.com.